All right, so now just in case you didn't know already, allow me to be the first to inform you that freight brokers pay a lot of money in taxes. Now, why do you think that is? Well, because in the United States, employees and small business owners pay the most money in taxes. Why do you think that is? Well, it's very simple. Because big businesses and investors have more sophistication, more savvy, more resources when it comes to the tax law, and they know how to get around it so that they pay the least amount in taxes. They know how to use the tax code to pay the least. And you and I have that same responsibility to ourselves, to our business, to pay the least amount in taxes. It's not about going out and paying taxes as a business owner. It's about making money, keeping more of that money in-house, keeping more of that money in your business so that you can use it for things like growing your business, hiring employees, and different things such as that. Not about going out and paying taxes. Now, you're going to pay taxes, but you want to make sure that you're minimizing your tax liability. Now, there's a way that you do that. One way of starting off is to make sure that you're taking the right tax deductions. And so many small business owners have no clue when it comes down to tax deductions, not even really understanding what a tax deduction is. And basically what a tax deduction is, it allows for you to deduct money that you're spending on business and different things such as that from your overall income to minimize your income, because the less income you make, the less taxes you should pay on that income. So when you decrease your overall income, you decrease your tax liability. So in today's video, we're going to talk about 5 deductions that you are probably missing, that you're not taking simply because you don't understand. We're going to give you these 5 deductions, and you want to make sure that you start to implement them in your business as soon as possible. Now, make sure that you talk to your tax professional or your CPA before implementing any of these tax deductions to make sure that they are right for you. So come on inside, sit back, relax, and let's get down into the business. All right, so now before we get too far out of the gate, I just want to make sure that you and I are on the same sheet of music. I am not at all advocating for you to go out and try and figure out how to make less money so that you can pay less taxes. I'm not on board with that. I want you to make as much money as you can possibly make. What I am saying is just use the deductions so that you can actually take away from the money that you're making so that you can show less money than you're actually making. And why we're saying do that? Because the IRS allows for us to do that. It allows for us to use deductions to take away from our overall income so that we can show less money and pay less money in taxes. So make sure that you're using the tax code properly. So let's take a look at deduction number 1 so we can get off to a good start on taking the proper deductions and decreasing our overall income so that we pay less money in taxes. First up, let's talk about the home office deduction. Many of you self-employed people out there are not using the home office deduction because you don't understand how it works, and that makes you afraid to use it. So what I want to do for you today is to help you to understand it a little bit better, give you some clarity around it so that you can use it and use it with confidence if you qualify. So here's how it works. If you are a homeowner, or maybe you're renting a home right now, either way, if you have a space within that home that you use exclusively for your home office, just for business, you could qualify for the home office deduction. You'll use Form 8829 to calculate this home office deduction. Based on the square footage that you use for your office space, you'll be able to deduct a certain percentage of certain expenses like your mortgage interest, your rent, your utilities, and your insurance. You just have to make sure as a business owner that you're using your office exclusively for your business. This shouldn't be used in conjunction with a kitchen or in conjunction with a bedroom, just for your office. Tax deduction number 2, the mileage deduction. Many of you are not calculating your miles because you think it's insignificant, it's not worth your time. But what you might not already know, for every mile driven in relation to your business from January 1, 2022 to June 30th, 2022, you get a 58.5 cents per mile deduction. And it increases to 62.5 cents from June 30th, 2022 to the end of December. So that's a nice piece of money that you could be leaving on the table. And all you have to do is to make sure that those miles are driven for business. For example, let's say you go and see your CPA for a meeting, you calculate those miles and you get paid for the miles driven to and from that meeting. What about going and getting supplies for the business? You went to Walmart, you went to Costco, make sure you calculate the miles and you will get paid for those miles. So it just makes sense not to leave any money on the table. The mileage deduction is a very good deduction to take advantage of. Tax deduction number 3, and yes, this is a big one. All business-related expenses can receive a tax deduction. Let's say you go out and you purchase paper for your printer and you use this paper in your business, you can receive a tax deduction for the purchase of the paper. Also, if you go out and you purchase a surety bond or insurance or software like LOADBOARD or TMS, all of these items can be expensed because they are used for business. You just have to make sure as a business owner that you're accurately accounting for the items that you purchase for business. So if you have a system like QuickBooks or any other software accounting system that you're using, your job is to make sure that you're accurately accounting for the purchases that you plan to expense. Tax deduction number 4. Let's say that you want to write off your next vacation. You want to go to Hawaii. You might want to take your wife, and she's an employee of the company, and you are an employee of the company. There's a way that you can go off and write off the entire trip. It takes planning. You got to make sure that a lot of the trip is for business. There's specific ways that you can do that. I would suggest talking to your CPA and making sure that everything is planned out before you go on the trip. And you might just find that you're able to get most of the trip, if not all of the trip, tax deductible. Tax deduction number 5, pre-tax or traditional IRA deductions. If you have a traditional IRA set up through your company where you contribute investment funds into that traditional IRA, you can get a tax deduction for the amount that you put into that IRA. Now, the last thing that I want to share, this is not a tax deduction, but it saves you a whole lot of money. A lot of you are set up as just an LLC. And if you're just an LLC, you have to pay what is called self-employment tax, Social Security and Medicare tax in the amount of 15.3%. So if you make $100,000, you have to pay $15,300 just in self-employment tax. That doesn't include the regular federal taxes or state taxes. Now, if you're set up as an S Corp, meaning you have an S election, you're telling the government you're a corporation and you want to be taxed as an S corporation, then they allow for you to break your pay in 2. So you'll take a W-2 pay for a certain amount and a profit sharing for a certain amount, and you only pay self-employment tax on the W-2 amount. So that's a huge, huge savings depending on how you have your company structured. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight brokerage business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series titled How the Load Movement Process Works. Give you a chance to come into the office with me and you can watch on video as I move loads, talk to shippers and carriers to give you a better understanding of how this business works. And then if you're interested in learning more about how load boards works, how we go in and use load boards to find our carriers, to post our loads, and of course, as a rate sourcing tool so we can get accurate rates, I'll leave you a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top because the bottom is much too crowded.